Your experience at the present moment has no context. It may seem to have a context, it may seem to have familiarity based on your experience of a moment ago. And that experience may have seemed to have context of familiarity based upon the experience of the previous moment, and so on and so forth. But if you trace that back, if you go back till you're an infant or a newborn, where's the context come from? Okay, so you may have had some experience while you're in the womb that's of a certain character, but before your parents' genetic material met, what's the context? So any familiarity that this present moment seems to have, any sense of normalcy or dullness or non-excitingness or familiarity is a good way to put it, is really based on absolutely nothing. This moment, imagine that you have never had experience and all of a sudden, bang, out of absolute void, this all of a sudden just flashes into your experience. You don't know what anything is, you don't know what color is, you don't know what light is, you don't know what sound is, but bang, it's just here, and you have no idea at all what it actually is. And that is, in truth, your actual situation. That's actually what's happening here. I think habitually we tend to mask our noticing of that fact with this sense of familiarity, this sense of context, this sense of, well, yeah, this is normal because it's kind of like what has been happening before that I can recall, which was kind of normal, and so on and so forth. But it's sort of bootstrapped up out of nothing. It's bootstrapped up out of contextlessness. It's bootstrapped up out of before you were born, and what was your experience like then? In that context, how much familiarity, how much normalcy can this have? What's happening now is inconceivable. It's absolutely inconceivable. It's absolutely unique. It has no precedent. It has no context other than itself. It's completely surprising, completely unanticipatable. And our only challenge from a spiritual point of view is to notice that fact, is to notice that that is our actual situation, this situation of absolute contextlessness. And the only thing that supplies context is imagination, our fantasies of continuity, our fantasies of history, all of which are essentially generated in real time in our imagination. And this fantasy of continuity, this fantasy of familiarity, is what we use to feel trapped. It's what we use to feel stuck. It's what we use to feel small. It's what we use to feel boring and dull. And all of these qualities, all of these apparent context is generated solely in fantasy, solely in imagination. Because in actual fact, how could there be dullness? How could there be normalcy? The circumstances of this moment have never happened before in any sense whatsoever. This moment is inventing itself in real time. What could possibly be more exciting than that, be more surprising than that, be more interesting than that, be more groundless than that? And we can notice this. We can discover that this is the case. We can discover that our experience is unprecedented. And the precedent we supply, this precedent of normalcy and familiarity, is imaginary.